You are.
I'm going to do a show in Brooklyn. We're going to do live painting. But, like, none of my stuff is going to be meant to last beyond the day. So once we do it, I want to let people kind of destroy it or do it or touch it. But
I've
when
never
it's
heard
wet,
that before.
Yeah.
You guys know Famous Seamus? I really only want to call you Gareb Famous Seamus right now. Gareb created Comic-Con, which is amazing. And then after he turned that into one of the most successful endeavors, projects, events ever, decided that he will try his hand at art. Because, I mean, besides like Picasso and Monet, how hard could it really be? Those guys did it. I know more about art or less about art than I do about anything else, and I never learned to appreciate it or anything, and then all of a sudden I saw your work, and at first I poo-pooed an artist coming, and then I looked at it and I fell in love with it. Like, fell in love as in I can't stop looking at it because it's really neat and different and creative. And I think it's so cool that you have taken two completely sort of different skill sets and have, you know, really become quite successful at them. Anyway, welcome. Thank you so much for coming back. Last time we talked about it, now I actually get to see it.
Yes, and touch too.
And touch. Yeah. And that's a big thing. It's like very tactile to you. Like you want people to touch it.
Absolutely, because I want the, you know, it really kind of reflects my personality, which is both engaging, but then also in a way kind of keeping your distance.
Oh, that's interesting.
And, yeah, because in my prior life, you know, people just, I always felt like everybody wanted something from me. So I always kind of had to keep my distance when I was thinking about what my concept for art would be. I wanted it to be both engaging, because everybody wanted to be a part of it, but yet I also needed that space.
Right.
And so I came up with the technique for it.
So talk me through, I mean, like, guys, look at this. It's really neat. This isn't just, he didn't just paint this with a pencil. Like, these are actual, like, acrylic droplets, right?
Yeah.
That you have like laid on here. It's
one
like
at a time.
Pointy, one at a time. How long did this take you to do?
This piece took me about 10 hours total from start to finish.
I've never done anything for 10 hours. Like, I can't even sleep over the course of 4 days for 10 hours. That's amazing.
So and especially when you get really tiny in the middle there. You know, each one of those little drops, I have to, like, literally get in there, not with a microscope or whatever, but with my glasses off and just get in there and do it.
Wow. It's really,
but it's really fun,
cool.
And it's very meditative.
Yes,
you know,
that I could see.
This is one of those things that I can do, and my brain could just really, you know,
So talk me through your artistic process. Like, where do you do it? What music is playing? Are you on the phone? Where's everyone in your household? I'm just very curious.
So I finally moved into an art studio, so I get to work, and it's really peaceful.
So he's no longer doing this on the subway, with his guitar case open, hoping for tips.
Right, exactly. Exactly. And then, so now I'm in the studio, and I always have music on.
What do you listen to?
Spotify. I'll usually play like the top indie or the top 50.
Oh, okay.
Or, you know, I'll pick one of their stations that they have.
I do that on Pandora, the indie songwriter.
Yeah.
Big fan.
Yeah, I love it. So then this way, you know, I've always got something going. I get to listen to some new music, some existing music. I will occasionally take a phone call. Like, I know that if I'm working on something which I know is going to take a long time, and I just have to keep going, it's easy just to put a phone down.
Because it's not as mentally taxing, because it just, you sort of do it by rote. You know, you're kind of in the process, and once you're in it, then you can kind of do other things while you're still doing it.
But there are some cases where I need to be super precise. So, like in this type of case, I need to be really precise with it. In which case, I can't talk to anybody. I need quiet, silence. And, you know, like, literally I'm sweating by the time I'm done because, you know, my concentration is so tight.
Right.
On something like this, you know, I get to have fun with it. And as a matter of fact, it's called folly, you know, because it's really, depending on how you look at it, either the spirals are raveling up or they're unraveling. Depending on kind of your perspective. In my kind of life, you know, it's really, I find them to be raveling. Because you know, I think a lot of people, things in their life are unraveling, but, you know, I try to be very optimistic about things.
Way to go. That deserves a high five, but I'm too cold because it's May and it's freezing in New York, so I can't even take my hands out to high five you.
Don't worry, the camera's shaking.
Because it's so cold. It's absolutely crazy. what's happened in New York. This is what I blame it on us for using hairspray in the 80s. I always say that. Like, the polar bears right now are homeless because they have nowhere to go. Because we use so much hairspray that now it's freezing in May, and it was like 1,000 degrees in January. We're talking to Gareb, who basically created Comic-Con, and then was like, one successful thing begets another, and now I'll just will be a famous artist. So I wonder when your two worlds are going to collide, and this is just going to be like a face of like Superman, or this is
there
going to
an
be...
art con, by the way?
There is an art. There's something like it. I covered it for the Today Show.
Yeah, there's a lot of art fairs. Yeah, well, there's Art Basel in Miami, but like coming up this week, it's Frieze. It's called Frieze. It's a big art kind of conference going on. But then there's a lot of other shows, whether it's Scope or Context or
but of
what have
superheroes.
You. No, not of superheroes.
Right, that's
but
what I'm saying.
Art.
I covered when the Museum of Natural. No. Which museum did a big superhero costume and art festival?
Maybe, I don't know if it was Whitney or maybe it was. Well, there's comic book art museums, so they'll do things all the time.
That's what I'm talking about.
Yeah.
That's what combines everything.
Yeah.
So
well,
when
you're starting to see that. I don't want to go in the pop world because then people. I think a lot of my past friends or existing friends think of me like, oh, when is he going to do superheroes?
Yeah.
But I really want to appeal on the fine art side because I feel like
you
I've
want
done
to be
so
one of
much.
those kind of humans.
Yeah,
The
but
fine
also,
art side.
my friends are the best superhero artists in the world.
You don't think you can compete?
I don't want to even brush the
But
topic.
like, what if you did this? But so say you did this in like, what are Superman colors? Red, blue, and yellow.
Yellow, yeah.
What if you did this in red, blue, and yellow, and
yes.
you called it like?
Yes, but I don't even want to.
You don't even want to
go
do that
close yet. Maybe
Really?
someday, yeah. But yes.
Okay.
I just have to because so there's a guy he runs DC Comics and which is all the Batman Superman properties and his name is Jim Lee and he's one of the best artists in the
there's
world.
a guy, he runs DC Comics. It's no big whoop.
And I've been friends with Jim forever and he was in New York 2 weeks ago and we were talking about art and I was literally telling him I don't want to be compared to Jim Lee. When I tell people the story,
Gotcha.
I can't. He's too good.
Who do you want to be compared to? Don't say Picasso. That is so cliche.
No, I actually don't know yet.
Hold on. Hey guys, say hi to Paul.
Hey Paul.
Are you working?
Yeah, but just come here for once. I just have to tell you one thing.
We're
We're
live on video.
live on
Sorry,
Periscope. Paul is the best chef you've ever met in your life. This guy cooks for everyone. Say hi to everybody. And his wife works for Lululemon, and I love their whole family, and I just had to say that. Thank you again. Love it. Just everyone in the back, sit down. Sit down, guys. We're going to get to you in a second. Okay, so tell me.
I don't know who yet to compare because I'm growing up in a world, in the art world, where there is social media and there is multimedia and there is different ways to apply your art to other, whether it's textiles or textures or all kinds of things. And the Picassos didn't do that. And
he was such a slacker.
Yeah, well, he's unbelievable. I mean, he is the grandmaster of all. I mean, when you talk to people, he's the guy.
Picasso?
That everybody's like, they
For real?
Yes, like he is like. He's the artist, in addition to people that love him. But
I think he's
so
a
I don't know
cliche.
yet.
Just kidding.
You know, but I do want to forge my own path.
Yeah.
And I haven't figured out what that fully is yet. But I'm trying to be very organic about it because my whole life has been very entrepreneurial, where you need to be organic about where you're going because you never really know. But you do know that once it starts working, that you don't know where life is going to take you, and you just got to go with it.
Yeah.
And I'm kind of doing that both artistically and then even on the business side.
Isn't there something refreshing about that? If you apply that same mantra to life, you know, you could swim against the tide. You can let the tide take you, or you could tread water, or you can let the tide sort of take you where it wants to take you.
Yeah, right. And the people that survive are the ones that go with the flow, so to speak.
Right.
And luckily I've always been that type of person.
Right.
You know, and now I'm applying it in both a cultural art way and a artistic art way, a creative way, and it's very exciting. And because I didn't have a vested interest in the art business before, people are like, "This is not the way you do it." I'm like, "I don't care."
Right,
you know,
right.
What's the difference?
Who cares?
How's
As
it
long
going to
as
hurt
you
me?
get there,
you know? Yeah.
Well, this stuff is really cool. Like if you put these two together, is this how this is how you want it to work?
Yeah. So I had somebody that had a home where they had corner where you enter their home, and they
And it's a
wanted
pretty
something.
large piece. I've seen it.
Yeah, this is a scale of
Yeah.
what is really the size of a building.
Yeah, they wanted something that when you walk in your home created some tension between the two pieces.
Oh, so like a marriage.
Yeah.
Perfect.
So I designed
Tension
this
in
I designed this little
kidding?
piece for them just to give them an idea of what I was thinking about, and they loved it. So now I'm going to do these much larger.
That's really, really.
Yeah.
Now, do you take requests, or does someone say,
yeah.
"This is what I'm thinking. This is the mood that I'm in, and this is," and go ahead and do your thing?
Well, they left it to me to create what that tension would be. You
Right.
know, they gave me the sizes that they liked them to be because they just have a physical size limitation.
Right.
And so they're each going to be 3 feet by 3 feet. But
Wow.
but then once they said the tension, then I'm like, all right, let me
know
do
what you
it. You know, and I gave them a couple of options. But then I'm going to go to town on it.
3 feet by 3 feet. What will that take you? Like 2018?
That's going to take me 2 months, start to finish.
Wow.
But I can't work every day on it, otherwise my mind would like explode. or
Yeah, your
whatever.
brain would fall
Yeah,
out
and
of your
I need
eye the
some
way my
time.
pancreas did when I did stand-ups
Yes.
with Bonnie Bernstein. So what if someone wants to get this or buy this or get in touch with you? Tell me how.
Well, they can go to my website, Gareb.com. And,
Well, we have this is at Gareb also.
and at
Gareb.com.
Yes, and at Gareb, and on Instagram,
At Gareb.
at Gareb Seamus.
At Gareb Seamus.
Right. So I'm pretty findable online.
Okay.
Luckily, I've had a past where I've always been kind of a public figure.
Right.
So it's so I am pretty accessible, and my name, since it's unique, it's great. People just Google Gareb.com and get
Do you have
to me.
siblings?
Yes.
What are their names?
I have 3 brothers. I have an older brother, Elon, I-L-A-N.
Oh, I like it.
And I have a brother, Kenny and Steven.
Okay, well,
Yeah.
Kenny, no offense to Kenny and Steven, they got
Yeah.
screwed
Yeah, they did.
with the corporate
I
names.
know. My parents got a little, I guess, bored or something.
They got fun
Yeah.
with you guys,
Yeah, they
and then
did.
just took it out on Kenny and Steven.
Yeah.
Their lives probably are in the trash right now because
growing
of those
up,
terrible names.
it wasn't fun. But then once I got out of college and I hit the business world,
It was
having a
fantastic.
unique name was great because
great.
Either people couldn't pronounce it or it was memorable or very forgettable. But
Yeah.
at least I had that like one name word that people call me.
Hey, when did you know that you had a talent here, that you could do something, that you could possibly do something that you could sell and that was completely different from comics?
As I was working on it about a year and a half ago, I started showing it to friends who, and they're your friends, so they're always going to tell you that they love what you're doing
Right.
no matter what.
Right.
Are your friends tell you that? My friends tell me.
Oh yeah, my friends are very encouraging in my life, luckily. But it wasn't until I showed my daughter, and she's 17, at the time she was 16, and I was like, what do you think? And when she loved it, I
And
knew
you
I
were
had
in.
something. And it didn't matter what anybody in the art world said. I knew that when she said I had something going,
It's really
then
sweet.
I knew I had something going.
That actually gave me the chills. That's really, really sweet. I love it. Do you stick mainly with these? I've never seen anything so colorful from you, even though I've known you now like 2 weeks. Do you mainly do black and whites?
For some reason, the black and whites are really resonating with people. I think it's that whole yin yang, and it's got a very meditative quality as well. Especially the spirals, but I'm doing stuff in a lot of different colors.
Wait, you're gonna tell me you didn't trace this circle? You literally
No.
made a perfect circle?
Yeah.
This is a perfect circle. Do you understand? Like, there's
it's
a
not
certain
100% perfect.
No, there is. It's a skill for. I think I read somewhere that for someone, if you can draw, there's 2 kinds of people in the world: the people that can draw a perfect circle and the people that can't.
Right.
For real, you're the person that can.
Oh well, once it gets larger, then it starts getting a little off, and I like the
Then it turns
imperfection.
into this a little.
Yeah, then it starts unraveling,
Yeah.
but that's the fatigue factor setting in. It's like I like the
really
idea
neat.
that as it gets further out, it's harder to keep it together.
Nice. All right, tell me the next time you're showing these, and the next time Comic-Con is coming to life.
So I'm gonna have a show in Brooklyn at
Yes.
a place called Art Helix in Bushwick, coming up at the end of May.
Oh, nice.
And so I'm really excited about that.
Will you be there?
Absolutely.
Can I come?
Yes, I'm going to do live painting. And,
You are?
Yes, and it's going to be totally great. We're going to have music and everything. It's going to be
All right,
really
we're going to
cool.
take Comic-Con on the
Yeah.
road.
And it's right up
we're going to take Periscope on the road.
Right.
Sorry.
And it's right up the L train, so it's totally easy to get to.
Awesome. Even if you don't
Yeah.
live in New York, it's right
Yes,
off the L train.
exactly.
So
Just
that's cool.
jump on the L train wherever you're from.
Get on that L train. The old L. I've never been on the L.
Yeah, and then on the Comic-Con side, there's an amazing one coming up in Philadelphia in June. I mean, we have a bunch more between then, but
Yeah.
the one in June is going to
It's
be off the charts. Yeah,
Where is it?
That's going to be at the Philadelphia Convention Center.
I've been there many times.
Yeah, the first week in June, and that's going to have just almost the entire cast of Captain America 2.
Wow.
Yeah, Chris Hemsworth.
Yeah.
Chris Evans, Tom Hiddleston. So a lot of the Avengers crew is going to be there.
That's awesome.
Yeah.
Way to have these two separate lives that you are having so much fun with and are so fulfilled with, and you just seem to be, the creative juices are still flowing. Like, you don't look like I do with these heavy bags which hold many people underneath my eyes right now because I haven't slept enough.
Well, I joke. I'm like Tom Hanks in the movie Big. I get to be a big kid, and a little kid in a big kid's body.
That's adorable. Without the diapers. That's awesome.
Yes.
That's really fantastic. With the diapers, it would be just distracting on so many levels. I love when you come by here. I love talking to you. I will be at this show.
Oh, awesome.
I absolutely will be there. I'm really excited. Come watch him paint. Let's watch him do his thing. I'll be in the corner doing whatever the hell it is that I do.
I'm going to let you put your finger through it, too.
I think you should. I think you should. But how cool. This is what I say. How about this with someone going, whoosh, and then you see it kind of going off a little bit. And it's like controlled chaos, which is what my life is, basically.
Exactly.
Right? It's like imperfect perfection.
Correct.
That's what I will call it. Or Jenna. It's really one or the two. So I'll be there, and I will see you at the end of May. You'll let me know the date. Go and check this out at Gareb, or on Instagram at Gareb Seamus, or at Gareb.com.
Correct.
Perfect. There's no way that people could not know how to get in touch with you.
Yes.
Thank you so much.
Awesome.
All right.
Great seeing you.
Talk to you soon.
Bye.
Bye. We'll be back right after this.